Okay, students. So we finished the first part of kinds of sentences, and today we are going to do the second part of the lesson, kinds of sentences. So what have we learned in the first video? Tell me. We have learned three types of sentences, isn't it? Of the five kinds of sentences that we originally had, we had learned three. What were they? Let us just have a quick recap. So the five types of sentences, or the five kinds of sentences as you may call it, are declarative sentences, interrogative, exclamatory, imperative, and optative. Yes, but declarative sentences can also be called assertive sentences. We have learnt about all three of them. Declarative sentences are sentences which give you some information. Yes, that gives you some information about the speaker and it ends with the full stop. Second is the interrogative sentences where we ask questions. We have also done different types of interrogative sentences. Remember, students? So we have learned all the different types of interrogative sentences. We have learned what is declarative sentences, and we had also done exclamatory sentences. Now we are left with imperative and optative. But before we move on to imperative and optative, I want you to know how exclamatory sentences are formed. So we will finish that first. Exclamatory sentences. One little information about how exclamatory sentences are formed, because I have from my experience I'm telling you that many children, they make this mistake. Whenever they have to write an exclamatory sentence, they just put a declarative sentence and put an exclamatory mark there. That's not the way. You must know how to write a an exclamatory sentence. There is a particular format. So let us learn that format today so that we can never make that mistake ever again. So that we know how an exclamatory sentence looks like and what we need to do to make it into an exclamatory sentence. Yes? Pay attention now. Okay, so let us learn how to form exclamatory sentences correctly. So if you pay attention properly today, we will never go wrong with exclamatory sentences. Fine. So now we have two ways in which we can form an exclamatory sentence. One is with a noun and the other one is to use an adjective or an adverb. I will teach you both. But first thing first, you will first learn how to use a noun and make an exclamatory sentence. See, we have learned noun, adjectives, adverbs in our previous lessons. Am I right? See, we are not supposed to forget those lessons now. Now that we have new lessons, we are supposed to keep that in mind, and because that will keep on helping us with our future lessons. Grammar is very interconnected, students. So you cannot forget what a noun is. If you have forgotten, then you please go back to that video. See what nouns are. If you have forgotten what adjectives, adverbs are, just quickly look it up. Now you have everything. Your teacher is always with you. In your regular classes, you would have to go back to the teacher or you have to ask somebody else. Now your teacher is 24/7 with you. These videos, you can go to your teacher anytime. Whenever you feel you have a doubt, you can quickly open the video and listen to it and your doubts will be clear. Yes? So using what with a noun. The first procedure to make an exclamatory sentence is to do it with a noun. You will simply add what with a noun and you will get an exclamatory sentence. Like for example, you will say, "What a movie!" and put an exclamatory mark. Yes, what a movie. Instead of saying a declarative sentence, "It was a wonderful movie, it was a very good movie, it was a lovely movie." That was a declarative sentence. You're saying it very simply. You're happy. You're saying that it is a very good movie. Yet, you're saying it without much feeling. But if you're really excited after seeing the movie, or really disappointed also after seeing the movie, you could say, "What a movie!" Or you could also say, "What a movie!" Isn't it? So this exclamatory mark will tell us that it is an exclamatory sentence. Now you have learned that. Now let us learn how to form an exclamatory sentence with an adjective or an adverb by using the word how. You will say, "How lovely," "How mean." So in both the ways, you are actually using which is the adverb, which is the adjective. Now you are going to tell me. Yes, lovely. What is lovely? Adverb. Remember, love plus ly is adverbs. Adverbs always have an ly at the end of it, generally. Okay, now how lovely, and the next one, how mean. So these sentences could be a little longer. How lovely the movie was, how lovely the day is. Okay, or you can say how mean of her, how lovely of this of my aunt to bake a cake on my birthday, how lovely of my mom to bake a cake on my birthday, or how mean of her to tell a lie about me. So these are exclamatory sentences. See, very easily we have learnt how to form an exclamatory sentence. And don't forget to put the exclamatory mark at the end of the sentence, okay? Otherwise all your hard work will go down the drain. No marks. If you don't have an exclamatory mark, no mark. Fine. Okay. So now we will proceed to the other two kinds of sentences that we will learn today. Okay, so let us begin imperative sentence. But before we try to know what are imperative sentences, there are certain features which are there in imperative sentences. We need to know that. Now, what are these imperative sentences? They are usually used to tell somebody to do something or not to do something. So they're basically instructions. When you want to give some instruction to somebody and tell them to do something or not to do something. So right from here you can understand, when you tell them to do something, it is a positive sentence. You're right. And when you're telling them not to do something, then it is negative sentence. You can see the example down below. Park your car here is a positive sentence. And do not park your car here is a negative sentence because you're telling them not to do something. So positive, negative. So both are there, and these imperative sentences, they always end with a full stop. But sometimes in certain cases they could end with an exclamation mark also. I will tell you when that will happen. But generally they end with a full stop. Like in this case you can see, park your car here, do not park your car here. Fine. Now, usually if you notice, look at that sentence, park your car here. Usually, the subject is not mentioned. It is never mentioned in the imperative sentence. It is implied. So it is depending. It is implied to the listener. Somebody is speaking to somebody. Somebody is giving instructions to somebody else. So A is giving instruction to B, for example. So it is understood that A is referring to B. Now it could be B, it could be C. The instructions are same for everybody. Maybe. So therefore, here the instruction is more important rather than the subject. Park your car here is a positive sentence and no subject is mentioned. Or we could say, Vinay, park your car here. Then there is a subject. Okay. But generally, we don't have the subject. It is implied. That is the character of the imperative sentence. And another feature you can see to the right, they use the base form of the verb which does not show tense. Very convenient. You don't have to bother about tenses much in imperative sentence. Park your car here does not show any tense. Do not park your car here. When you change it to a negative, no tense is changing. So, we have understood what an imperative sentence is. Clear? Now we will go on to see the examples. Let us see some more examples about imperative sentences because they might be of many types. See, when you're giving instructions to somebody, you may give many different kinds of instructions. Now, what could those instructions be? What kind of instructions will make what kind of imperative sentence? You need to know that. So, we will do that next. So now look at the instructions. All these are instructions. There are 5 sentences which I have given you. So there are 5 types of instructions which imperative sentences may indicate. Imperative sentences may provide a command or an order. Okay, when I say be quiet, don't shout, get out. There, you see, exclamation mark. You're saying it with expression, saying it angrily, or you're saying it with irritation, then you may use an exclamation mark. Have you noted that? It may provide a command or an order, don't shout, or you can say, fast, go and bring it fast. There you don't need. But when I say, don't shout, It depends. But if I say, don't shout, then there will be no exclamation mark. It depends on what mood you want to convey to the person. When you want to show some anger or some kind of extra emotion or feeling, then we put an exclamation mark. Clear? Now, next, it may provide a request. See, like you can give an order, you can also request someone. You may say, please, you're supposed to do that. Please open the door. Would you please do this for me? So, all these are requests, and these are imperative sentences when we make request. See, here also, note no subject. Again, another feature which I taught you, the verb does not show any tense. Clear? Now, it may provide an invitation. For example, come to my party, join my party, come come home. So all these are imperative sentences. Why? Because you're not telling any subject, you're not using any subject, and you're using the verb in its base form, no tense. Next, it may also provide a suggestion, warning, or an advice. There. People are always there. The moment you tell them that I'm coughing, I'm sneezing, immediately they have lots of advice. Ye piyo, wo piyo, ye. So many things, isn't it? All those are imperative sentence. The very corona slogan, stay home, stay safe, that's an imperative sentence. Did you know that? You were using it all the time, but you did not know that it is an imperative sentence. Now you know that it is an imperative sentence. Why? Because the verb does not show any tense and there is no subject there and it is giving an advice. Are you clear, my dear students? Yes. Now, the last one, it may provide permission. For example, when the teacher says, okay, come in, go out. Okay, so excused. So you are giving a permission to a person. So those things are imperative sentence when the verb is not showing any tense and the subject is not there in the sentence. Is it clear to you all students? Imperative sentences are these. Okay, so together with the previous instruction and this, we will complete imperative sentence. Now we will move on to the next type of sentence. Okay, now we come to the last, absolutely the last kind of sentence, the fifth type of sentence, that is the operative sentence. This also, many a times you have used them. You look at the sentences there, all the examples there. God bless you. We say that, long live the king, long live our prime minister. Okay, may he never find peace. You're cursing somebody. So we are using operative sentences to express a wish, prayer, or a curse. Will you remember? Cursing someone means wishing something bad. We shouldn't do that. But there are some people who do that. And in those days, earlier days, you will become a crow in the next birth. That is an operative sentence. May you become a crow in the next birth for doing this to me. You see Mahabharata and Ramayana, all these kind of this Rishi Munis, they give a lot of curses. All those are operative sentence. Fine. Now, so we shouldn't curse people. Remember that. So, but I have put it there. Why? Because you need to know that this is an operative sentence. We Whenever we wish something, whenever we say we talk about our desires, or when we want to say a prayer to God, then we are using operative sentence, and they will always end with an exclamation mark, because they are full of emotion, they are charged with emotions. When you're saying your prayer to God, you're saying it with all your heart, isn't it? You want it to come true, and you're really requesting God to do that for you. You really pray earnestly, so that needs an exclamation mark. When you're making a wish, it's something which you really desire, isn't it? So you really want it to happen. You really want it to come true. So you say that. When you wish somebody, you bless somebody, and you say, happy birthday. Okay, that's also a wish. That's an operative sentence. Many happy returns of the day. That's an operative sentence. Long live the king is an operative sentence. God bless you. May you always be happy forever in your life. That is also an operative sentence. And the curse we've already said, I'm not going to say that again. I don't want to repeat negative. sentences. I've told you, now you know about it. That's enough. Fine. We need to identify. You should be able to identify. Okay, so that is why, but we will not indulge in it. We will not say these kind of negative. So we know now operative sentences can also be positive as well as negative. Clear, students? Absolutely clear. Now let us see what is ahead. Now, at the end of today's lesson, we will need to know that what are we going to be tested on. See, kinds of sentences we have learned. We know what are the characteristics. We know now to identify. So, well, you need to know how to identify kinds of sentences. You might be given a list of sentences like that exercise. Some exercises are there in your book. I guess exercise A and exercise B are identification of the kinds of sentences based on all the information that I have shared with you today. Fine. There are some information which are not there in the book. I have added something to you. I've made it simplified it for you. I've made it very simple for you to understand. So if you read the book, you would understand. But for easy understanding, I have made this video. Fine. So you will be able to, now I'm sure if you have observed the video properly, then you will never go wrong in identification of these 5 types of sentences. Fine. Now, another exercise that you have to know is how to add question tags at the end of declarative sentences. Exercise C of your book gives you an exercise in that. You need to add positive question tags as well as negative question tags. Remember, students, I've taught you both. Yes, like for example, is it, isn't it? Both. Is it is a positive question tag, isn't it, is a negative question tag. No, not, never. Whenever you have these are making it negative. Remember this always. So to add question tags to declarative sentences, you need to know that. You need to know how to identify. And the last one, which is a little tougher than all the other, you need a little practice in that, and that is interchanging from one sentence to the other. Fine. So these are the different things that you will need to know from kinds of sentences. So if you know these, then you are a winner. Nobody can put a zero in your answers as far as kinds of sentences are concerned. Okay. So all the best. Study well and learn all these rules and pay attention and refer to your book and try your hand at those exercises A, B, C, D. There are 4 exercises in your book. Try to do them. We will do some more from another grammar book also. Fine. Bye bye. Take care and stay safe.